Without wrestling, I'm nowhere near the person I am today. The people I've met in wrestling, the lessons it's taught me, I think that wrestling is by far the most important thing in my life, except for my relationship with the Almighty. It's taught me so many important lessons. It's brought me close to some of the best friends and some of the best people I've ever known. So I feel like without wrestling, I'm nowhere near where I am today. I started wrestling because my dad was really big into football, so I was playing football from a really young age. So my dad needed something for me to do in the winter. So I got into wrestling when I was really young, but I didn't really fall in love with it until I was about in 5th or 6th grade. One thing that really clicked for me was I love the creativity that wrestling provides. I think another thing is the accountability that wrestling builds. You're the only person out there, so I feel like the accountability of, you do the work, you're gonna win. That's something that really made me fall in love with the sport. I've been around Skutt since the time I could walk. I played football there, I've wrestled there my entire life. So just being around Skutt for that long, it's always been a dream to come here and to wrestle in that black single on Saturday night. Being around the coaches who I've known since I was a little kid, being in this program that I've been around since I could remember, it's something that's really impactful to me. And these coaches, they love it, they're part of it, they really buy into us, so it's really hard to not buy into them and get better at Skutt. I remember my freshman year when I lost in the state finals, I really had to sit there and think about man, do I really want to do this? Is there something I want? And I wasn't very a serious thought. It took me about 5 minutes to be like, no, I'm gonna come back. I want to be in that spot where I'm winning these state titles. I think focusing on the process is one of the most important things I've started doing. That's when my winning started to take off. That's when my wrestling started to come together fully. I think the most important thing is not sitting there thinking about, oh man, I need to win this match or I can't lose this match. It's, okay, let's go wrestle good and everything else will worry about itself. I'd like to thank my parents, especially my dad. He's been with me every step of this journey, driving me to practices, to lifting with me, to taking me into tournaments. My dad, I love him and he's done so much for me. My coaches, Brian Pesca, Coach Chaz, Coach Hollins, Coach Stotts, Coach Waters, all those guys at Skutt. Then the MWC guys, Zach, Skinny, Rhino, Stotts, all those guys just put in so much time and effort into me, I'm really thankful that they even take the time to think I can be good at wrestling. Seeing it kind of pay off, it's almost like making them proud. It's incredible. It's really hard to put into words, especially for someone who hasn't experienced wrestling. To know that all of your hard work was worth something, that's just the coolest feeling in the world, I think.
Report to the awards area at this time.
Got the goods right there. You're special. You're different. You're UFL, homie.
I want people to remember me as someone who worked hard, showed up every day ready to work, and just loved the sport. I feel like at the end of the day, that's all I can ask for, people to remember me, and if they do remember me, as someone who worked hard and loved wrestling.